All right, so here we are. This is an SWF game I've been running for a few months, game time, and decided to share it with you guys after seeing all the other people's games that are being shared in the two Facebook groups for Total Extreme Wrestling. So this is for Supreme TV. I'm probably going to skip my B show, and I'll give you guys some background information about my promotion after this show. The show does have a debut of a guy that is a huge signing for SWF, and yeah. So, anyways, without further ado, let me just get through the show, and then we'll do some background information about my roster and things like that. All right. So I started the show with a few dark matches, and this first one was Masked Patriot versus Greg Gage. Masked Patriot was the last face on my roster, and so that's kind of why I stuck him in this match. And I really like Greg Gage, so that's why they got this match. It had subpar wrestling and little heat. Greg Gage defeated Masked Patriot in 13-14 by submission with the Proton Lock. As you can see, Gage had an in-ring performance of a D+. And Patriot had a D. So again, that's not too bad for a opening dark match. Next segment, I had Stephen Parker versus Akuma. Now, Stephen Parker reminds me of like a CM Punk straight edge style gimmick. Like I feel like he should be suited with that. Akuma kind of reminds me a little bit of Roman Reigns, just to give you an idea. Now, I just brought Akuma up to the main roster, and this is his first match officially on the main roster. I've borrowed him from development before, and he does okay. So anyways, he still has some work to get to where I want, but that's all right. I had subpar wrestling and little heat. Stephen Parker did defeat Akuma in 744 with the Future Shock. You know, I'd like to eventually push Stephen Parker to greater heights, but right now he's just a mid-carder, and he's enjoying some simple victories. They don't seem to click, made for an awkward bout. Parker had a C and Akuma had an E+. Not good, man. Four-way tag match. Now, when I slapped this together, I was hoping I could find some chemistry between guys. It does not look like I found any looking at this, but that's okay. The winner was Jimmy Hernandez and Mikey Lau defeating Ricky DeColt, Robbie Retro, Cool Canadians, and Eric Eisen and Joe Sexy. The last one was Eric Eisen and Joe Sexy, which is surprising because they were probably the most over guys in the match. C+ rating. Kristen Pierce shoots t-shirts. Again, this is all before the show even starts. Pre-show bout had great wrestling and good heat. Brandon James defeated Randy Wolf in 8:15 with a big money move. Brandon James had an in-ring performance of B+. Randy Wolf had an in-ring performance of a B-. So that's pretty good. A B- to finalize the dark matches, basically. All right, the show kicks off with a freestyle segment called Angle with Bruce. So in this, the way I envision it is Jack Bruce, who had just lost at the pay-per-view to Remo for the #1 contendership. Jack Bruce comes out basically saying how he feels that he should still be in the title picture because he is the best. Talks about being better than Angry Gilmore, Remo, and Rogue, even though he happened to lose to Remo this past week. Rogue lost to Angry Gilmore, so that's why I threw him into this. Got an A. And about they had decent wrestling and didn't have much heat. Sammy Smoke defeated Oliver Cobb by pinfall with the ace in the hole following interference from his tag team partner, Monty Trescarde. Kristen Pierce, managing Sammy Smoke and Monty, also did a good job at ringside interfering. Basically, my vision for this was that she interfered by distracting the ref. Monty came in, hit Oliver. Monty and Sammy hit Oliver with their tag team finisher, and then that's how Smoke ended up winning. All right. Poorly placed on the card. They were already hot and didn't need working. Okay, I probably said work the crowd. And I did think I moved this around, so my fault. C- though, not terrible. Chris Angel had an interview hyping the upcoming singles match between her client Brandon James and Skull to Bones. Right now, there is I have a storyline between Skull to Bones, Brandon James, and Marat Koklov. Now, right now, Marat had lost multiple times in a row to Skull to Bones at pay-per-views, and Brandon James has started getting more involved. The last pay-per-view, Marat beat Skull. Marat is now going to move on to other things, and Brandon James is now going to start feuding with Skull to Bones at pay-per-views. Now, Davids and Black is a thrown-together tag team because American Machine is always hurt. He started hurt, he came back and got hurt again, so he's been hurt twice now. So I'm leaning towards moving Davids to a new tag team. There's another guy who I'm trying to sign right now who is currently in the SWF roster that I think could become like a trio of sorts with these two. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, in a decent match, Masters of Money defeated Davids and Black in 11:59 when Squeaky McLean defeated Greg Bling Black by pinfall with a stain removal. During the match, we also had Prototype Primus Allen run in and attack Davids. So Prototype Primus Allen is basically like a bodyguard for the Masters of Money. If you guys know who he is, he's a big guy, has really good menace stats, and right now I'm using him to help those guys win matches. Greg Black was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone. Squeaky McLean had an in-ring performance of a B, so that's not bad. A B overall for the match is pretty good. Worker improvements, nobody. Okay. Oh no, Squeaky McLean sustained a broken tailbone in this match. Too many guys getting hurt, man. Jeez. All right. The match is over, and Prototype and Davids. Okay, so I'm going to have to do an angle thing. I cloned the 2 versus 2 post-match beatdown, and so the words aren't. It doesn't work, the description. So anyways, what happens was those 3 beat down Davids and Black after the match. C+. Video plays hyping Angry Gilmore, Jack Bruce, and Valiant versus Remo, Rogue, and the Crippler. So basically, a 3 versus 3 main event match was created where Angry Gilmore, Jack Bruce, and Valiant are going to face Remo, Rogue, and the Crippler. Got an A. On About the Head Terrible Wrestling and Non-Existent Crowd Heat, Hell's Bouncer defeated Mad Dog Mortimer in 334 by pinfall with the Damnation Drop. I envision this kind of like Braun Strowman when he was fighting guys like James Ellsworth and other independent stars. I wouldn't even say stars, independent wrestlers. So I basically hired a local guy who can sell, and Hell's Bouncer just destroyed him. It's not too bad. They have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. Not too bad. Mortimer is not someone I'm hiring. Angry Gilmore had an interview hyping his upcoming singles match with Remo. It's basically, since Remo won the #1 contendership, Angry Gilmore came out and said that Remo is a great competitor. He's looking forward to the competition, and he can't wait to see what Remo has tonight in their 6-man tag against each other. Team Remo versus Team Gilmore. A+. All right, 4-way tag team, Platinum Blondes, The Awesomeness, Dylan and Morgan, and Hero Squad. Got a B, so that's good. Quite a few notes down here. Jefferson Stardust did really well, and Jungle Lord did really well. The Platinum Blondes won, and the Platinum Blondes afterwards were signaling that they want a shot at the tag team champions, and they might just get it coming up soon. We will see. Jack Bruce is shown walking down a backstage hallway on the way to the ring. Jack Bruce is getting a lot of attention. As he's walking in the back, people are patting him on the shoulder and giving him words of encouragement. Looks like $1 million. Tag team title action. So the ring generals in my game are the tag team champs. In About the Head Decent Wrestling, but didn't have much heat, the ring generals defeated Air Attack Weasel and John Greed in 924 when Dean Waldorf defeated Greed by pinfall with a wheelbarrow bomb. Ring generals make defense number 5 of their titles. Air Attack Weasel was the weak link. So Waldorf and Greed were the best in this match. John Greed sustained a minor concussion in this match. So again, another injury. Struggling through injuries at the moment. A freestyle segment called Angle with Murat Koklov, Skull to Bones, featuring Murat Koklov and Skull to Bones. So I envisioned this as Koklov coming out talking about his victory over Skull last week at the pay-per-view, and showing some highlights of the match where Koklov looked dominant. Obviously, choosing to leave out any offense by Skull. And it's not necessarily ending the feud, but it's signaling that Murat is ready to move on to stiffer competition. Before the match, the 6-man tag, Jack Bruce comes out, takes the microphone, and does his catchphrase for the fans. Soak it in, man. In an exceptional match, Remo, Rogue, and Crippler defeated Angry Gilmore, Jack Bruce, and Valiant when Remo defeated Jack Bruce by pinfall with the Destroyer following interference from Andrew Wolf. Andrew Wolf, you say? Who's that? Got an A. That's a good match. Jack Bruce sustained a torn meniscus in this match, so another injury. Great. Boom. A freestyle segment called Andrew Wolf stands over Jack Bruce, Valiant, and Angry Gilmore. Damage done, featuring Andrew Wolf, Jack Bruce, Angry Gilmore, and Valiant. That's right. Andrew Wolf is the man formerly known as Wolf Hawkins. You guys know probably by reading his bio, his name is Andrew Wolf Hawkins. I may actually add Hawkins back on at the end, or just calling him Drew Hawkins. I'm not sure, but my idea was that maybe the Wolf Hawkins character name was trademarked by TCW. So that's the only reason I changed his name. I have also, and here's my dilemma, the bump holes I've renamed Randy Wolf. For example, I've named them the Wolves instead of the bump holes. So something's got to give. I got to change some names. Or storyline, maybe they're brothers. Haven't disclosed that because this was Andrew Wolf's debut in SWF tonight. So A-star segment. Show increased our popularity in 21 regions. Got an A. So not too shabby. So with that, pretty happy with that. So some of the stuff I want to tell you about. So I am playing as the Grand Avatar. That one, I think the Grand Avatar. That's the one where it's just a silhouette. And he's a mystery. He doesn't really do much. It's just so you have an avatar. Yeah, I'll jump straight there. I have a broadcaster I've created called the SWF Network. Yes, I put some money into the company so I could do this, and they're enormous all over the place. The idea was that the Grand Avatar is a financial guy who bought the company off of the Eisens and is running it now with his own television network that he started for them. Let's look at the roster. Any in-ring push. All right. Let's look at our main eventers first. Go main event. So our main event right now is Andrew Wolf, who is working as a heel cocky youth. Angry Gilmore, who is my world champion. Jack Bruce, Murat Koklov, Remo, Rogue, Skull to Bones, The Crippler, and Valiant. Now, looking through, you see the ages are a little up there. Remo's not super old. Andrew Wolf is not super old. My idea is that Wolf and Jack Bruce are going to be in a feud. And winner of that will probably go on to face Angry Gilmore or Remo for the world title. Upper mid card, Brandon James, Eric Eisen, who I struggle using Eric Eisen. I don't know how to use him in a way that I enjoy. But, you know, Frederic Antonio Garcia, who right now is basically just a tag team worker. He teams with James Prudence. And Jefferson Stardust, who obviously kind of has that John Morrison, Johnny Mundo vibe. Looking to push him some more. Joey Morgan, great worker, but just his attitude kind of sucks. But again, great worker, so obviously I still use him, still give him key wins. Jungle Lord, I struggle to find use for often, but he's really good and will continue to stay on the roster. Paul Huntington. Here's one of the bumpholes, Randy Bumphole, which, again, I've named him Randy Wolf. And his brother is Zimmy Wolf. And Squeaky McLean, who is now hurt. I like Squeaky McLean a lot. Let's look at our mid-card. Captain Atomic. Interesting character, kind of that whole atom bomb kind of thing going for him. But yeah, so it's that. Dean Waldorf, one half of the tag team champs. Des Davids, his partner, American Machine, always hurt. He's been hurt twice now. So it kind of leaves Des Davids to float off in his own world. So I've teamed him with Greg Black. Greg Black, struggling with him. He's not performing as well as I had hoped. But I like the character I have in mind for that. And kind of the way I envision him is sort of like a Xavier Woods a little. Des Davids is kind of like my Biggie Langston. And the guy I'm getting is nothing like Kofi Kingston, by the way. I'm not trying to recreate New Day. Hollywood Brett Starr. Love the character. I actually have him team with Huey Cannonball sometimes, and I call them the A-listers. But Huey Cannonball also teams with Jefferson Stardust as well. Huey Cannonball. I like the character. Jimmy Hernandez, kind of envision him a little bit like a AJ Styles-ish type of worker. To give you an idea, I'm enjoying him in my mid-card right now. I thought about teaming him with Steven Parker, but I think first they need to have a feud before I get them to team up. Joe Sexy, kind of like a Ravishing Rick Rude type of character. In fact, his gimmick is ravishing. I team him up with occasional guys. I use him a lot to just almost as filler at the moment, but would like to probably put a title on him in the future. John Greed, I like the character. I struggle finding things for him to do. I have a lot of heels that fit a certain mold of how I like to use, and the problem is I have too many of them. So I got to find a way to work that out somehow. Marshall Dillon, a big Texas, face. He's kind of like SWF's answer to Ricky Dale Johnson, basically. Marv Statler, the other half of the tag team champs. Again, I really like them. The ring generals are awesome. Mikey Lau, a small guy, martial artist, good worker. I enjoy using him. He doesn't get a lot of big wins, though, for me yet. Robbie Retro, the Disco Stud. Right now, he's my SWF TV champion, and he has not defended the title in 2 shows. Normally, I put him on every show defending his title, so we'll probably get around to doing that some more. But I like the character. It's fun. Sammy Smoke. Talked a little bit about him already during the show. And then Steven Parker, who is a face. All right. Let's look at my undercarders, the lower card. Greg Gage, good things in his future. Hell's Bouncer, you saw how I kind of used him as a Braun Strowman type. He's pretty good. If you look, his menace is 95, so almost untouchable. He's awesome. And he's actually, for his size and stuff and his age, is not a bad worker. I mean, look at his basics, psychology. So he can put on some decent matches if he gets some popularity under him. Kirk Jameson, decent worker. He has some entertainment value. Star quality is an A, but he needs to get some popularity. Monte Trescarde, rich businessman. So his his picture looks like IRS, but his character is rich businessman. So the way I envision him is more of the Ted DiBiase type. Good worker, you can see over there. He's okay at being entertaining, but he's a good worker. So we'll see what I do with him in the future. Hopefully I can get him some popularity too. Oliver Cobb, lower mid-carder. He teams with Marshall Dillon at times, but mostly he does a lot of jobbing work. I envision him kind of like a Enzo Amore without the microphone and charisma skills. Here's prototype Primus Allen. It doesn't show you, but I'm pretty sure his menace is up there really high. He's not a bad worker either. So, and then Ricky DeCole, I signed him away from Canadian Golden Combat or whatever it's called. And I really like him. I've been working on getting him more popularity. And I think one day he could be a huge star in SWF. Let's look at the openers. Air Attack Weasel. His aerial skills are decent. His selling is amazing. That's the main reason I hired him in the first place. And if you notice, I do have him on a pay-per-appearance contract. So I'm still letting him work for other companies. I don't know who else he's working for right now, but yeah. So he's still doing independent bookings. If someone steals him away, that's all right. Because again, I'm just using him for the selling. Bulldozer Brandon Smith, a guy that I think could be great. Again, he's a good worker. He's got, skills. He's got it all. Charisma, star quality. So he's obviously more like a Samoa Joe type. So we'll see what happens with him. Akuma, again, he's like my Roman Reigns. Not the best in the ring, but could develop into that. Masked Patriot, a middleweight masked worker. He's pretty solid. He does okay in the undercard. I don't know how much further up the card he'll go, but for now I'm happy with him where he's at. Supreme Star, Spencer Spade. I like this guy. Love the picture I've changed over to. I think in my SWF game, he could one day be one of the top heels as well. 25, young, good things to say. So let's see. Do I have any enhancement talent? I do. Davis Wayne Newton, again, another good young worker, and Jamie Atherton, who's solid. I think that's it. Occasional wrestlers. I don't have anybody in a women's division. No, because I don't have a women's division. Personalities, the Grand Avatar, Richard Eisen, and Emmy. So Richard Eisen is a personality. I've used him occasionally to come out as a authority figure. I don't use him much, but every few months I use his character. Once his contract runs out, I'll probably let him go. Yeah, he's got 10 months, so I'll let him leave when his contract runs up, and he'll probably start a company elsewhere. North American champ is Valiant, who just won it last week. Robbie Retro has made 11 defenses of the television title. And Greg Gilmore has made 2, winning the title off of Remo. And then the Machines are the current tag team champs, and they won it off of American Machine and Des Davids. Huey Cannonball and Jefferson Stardust were the champs before that. So there's that. I'll show you guys my tag teams right now. The Cool Canadians, Davids and Black, Dylan and Morgan, Gage and Prudence. Don't use them much, but I'm eventually hoping to make them a more polished tag team. Hero Squad, High Stakes, which is Monty, Trescarde, and Sammy Smoke. Masters of Money, Southern Comfort, the A-List. Again, these guys have good chemistry, and their finisher is called the Red Carpet. The All-Americans, again, hurt way too much. Huey Cannonball, Jefferson Stardust, Frederic Antonio, and James Prudence for the Platinum Blondes, the Ring Generals, and Weasel and Greed. Let's see. Medical. American Machine is hurt for 52 days with a concussion. Jack Bruce is now hurt for a long time with a torn meniscus. So that sucks because that was the feud I was going for with Wolf Hawkins. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just call him the career killer. Because a year out sucks. Minor concussion for John Greed, so he's out for a month. And Squeaky McLean's out for a month. Yeah, that really sucks. Lasana Makutsi is in rehab. All right. I have 2 development companies. So let's go and look at those. Oh, here they are. Child companies. So I have Rhode Island Pro Wrestling and SFOW, which for some reason, can't remember what that stands for. Supreme something, something, something. Supreme Flyers of Wrestling is my... So I basically have it so it's modern wrestling and high flyers. The idea is that most of my better small workers will come from there. And then Rhode Island Pro Wrestling will be like the next step up where they'll work on their entertainment skills and things like that. In fact, let's look at the child companies again. Let's go here and let's look at the product. So it's modern is key, realism very low, traditional is heavy. So they're still going to do some things in regards to entertainment, but they're mostly for performance. So yeah, lots of matches, high intensity, good stuff. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys found this interesting. I'm going to do more in the future, obviously, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and in the Facebook groups, if you see the post there, be sure to comment. And again, I'd love your feedback, ways I can make it more interesting. Next show will be the following Supreme TV. I'm gonna skip Uprising since it's a B show. The next pay-per-view, so right now I'm in April. So my next pay-per-view would be Master of Puppets. I just got done with The World Is Watching. So yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. Again, love your feedback. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you later.